Picking which trekkers to invest in for Stella Sora can feel like navigating a minefield. You've got this shiny gacha system that makes you roll, hope, and pray for those sweet 5-star units. But let's be honest, not everyone's luck is built the same. Sometimes you pull nothing but duplicates, and other times, the game throws you a legendary out of nowhere. It's chaos, but it's the kind of chaos we love, right? Now, the real question is, do you need those 5-star trekkers to actually enjoy the game, or can you make it work with solid 4 stars? Because grinding for top tier characters can take a lot of time, and maybe a few too many in-game currencies. But if some of those lower rarity trekkers actually hold up in the late game, then maybe, just maybe, you don't have to burn yourself out chasing rainbows. That's exactly what this tier list is here for. We're breaking down which trekkers are worth your hard-earned resources and which ones you can safely skip. Whether you're a free-to-play survivor or someone who's already dropped way too much on this game, this list is going to help you figure out where your money and your luck should really go. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking trekkers in Stella Sora. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The trekkers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Kanas, Noia, and Koronish, Shimiao, Laru, and Telia. Alright, let's be honest here. These next trekkers are the kind of units you pull from a banner, stare at for a second, and then immediately think, yeah, maybe later. They are not terrible, but compared to the powerhouses we've seen earlier, these ones are more like the Participation Award characters of Stella Sora. Let's talk about our C tier, struggling trekkers. First up, we have Kanasi. She's a Ventus element character who definitely looks the part. Great design, cool aura, all that jazz. But when it comes to actual gameplay, she's basically just hyping herself up. All her buffs are self-centered, which sounds empowering, but in a team-based game, it just doesn't fly. She's like that one person in a group project who says, I'll handle it all myself, and then turns in a PowerPoint with 3 slides. Then there's Noia, another Ventus element trekker. She's the kind of support unit that technically helps your team, but only barely. Her big move is giving a random teammate some extra energy. Random, not your damage dealer, not your healer, just whoever the game feels like. It's like trying to charge your phone, but the cable only works if it's in a good mood. Now, Anne, also a Ventus user, boosts your team's attack by 17%, which sounds nice until you realize that's all she does. Imagine bringing someone to a party and all they do is compliment your outfit once, then sit in the corner for the rest of the night. That's Anne. Reliable? Maybe. Exciting? Absolutely not. Moving on to Coronis, our edgy Umbra element trekker. She looks awesome. Dark, mysterious, everything you'd want from an Umbra character. But the problem is, she hits like a wet noodle. She does have a passive that boosts other Umbra allies by 10%, but honestly, you probably have way better options by now. She's kind of like the cool kid in school who never actually studies, tons of style, but no substance. Then we've got Shimiao, rocking the Aqua element, and honestly, she's just fine. Not bad, not great, just aggressively average. She raises the squad's attack a little bit, but not enough to make a real difference. She's like the plain oatmeal of Stella Sora. It'll keep you going, but you're not exactly excited to wake up to it. Laru comes next, representing the Lux element, and yikes. Her damage is weak, her kit is bland, and she doesn't really do anything to stand out. She's the kind of trekker you get early in the game, use for a week, and then quietly bench forever. Nothing personal, Laru, you just never gave us a reason to care. Finally, Telia, another Lux element character, and it's pretty clear she's trying to be a budget version of Teresa. The problem? She does everything worse. She can take a few hits, sure, but she doesn't really help your team in any meaningful way. It's like showing up to a sword fight with a butter knife and saying, I'm basically the same as the guy with the great sword. Sorry, Telia. Not quite. So yeah, that's the C tier lineup. These trekkers might have cool designs or fun personalities, but in terms of performance, they're just not cutting it. If you really love one of them, go ahead and build them. But don't say I didn't warn you when they start dragging your whole team down. The trekkers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Caramel, Teresa, Casimira, Iris, Amber, Jinglin, and Flora. Alright, now we're getting into the B tier. Great characters, the dependable crew. These are the trekkers who may not be blowing up the whole battlefield like the S tier legends, but they'll absolutely pull their weight and make your run smoother. They're like the co-worker who doesn't brag, but somehow always finishes the project first. Let's break them down one by one. First up, Caramel. Don't let the sweet name fool you. This Umbra element, Trekker, means business. She's the perfect team player for any Umbra-focused squad because she boosts the overall damage for her teammates. Caramel doesn't need the spotlight. She's happy to stay in the background, making sure everyone else looks good. Think of her as the band's drummer. Not always the loudest, but without her, the whole performance falls apart. Then there's Teresa, your Aqua Element Shield Queen. If tanking hits was a competitive sport, she'd be undefeated. Teresa is amazing at absorbing tons of damage for herself and your main character, which basically means she's the reason your fragile DPS characters are still alive halfway through a fight. She's not flashy, she's reliable, like that one friend who always brings an umbrella when the forecast says maybe rain. Next, we've got Casimira, the speedster from the Ignis element. This girl is all about fast-paced combat and making your Ignis teammates land more critical hits. She's the kind of fighter who sets the tempo of the match, darting around and turning your whole squad into a crit machine. If your team were a rock band, Casimira would be the lead guitarist shredding solos while setting everyone else on fire, literally. Moving on to Iris. Now, Iris is interesting. She's an Aqua element attacker who's fine on her own, but when her special attack kicks in, she can boost your entire squad's attack by 28%. That's massive. Sure, she's not topping the damage chart solo, but her buff makes everyone else go wild. Iris is basically the hype coach of the team. She might not score the goal, but she's the reason everyone else does. Then we have Amber, one of the stronger Ignis element fighters in the bunch. She thrives when surrounded by her fiery teammates, boosting Ignis skill damage by 15%. The more Ignis units you stack, the more she shines. She's like that friend who's quiet at parties until her favorite song comes on. Then suddenly, she's the life of the room. Cosette joins the conversation as another Umbra element character, and she's all about weakening enemies. Seriously, half of her skill set revolves around making opponents regret existing. She doesn't deal the craziest damage herself, but when she's on the team, your enemies crumble faster than usual. Cosette is that player who doesn't score, but assists every single goal. An absolute team enabler. Up next, Jinglin, the Lux element support with a balanced kit. She's not about flashy one-shots. Instead, she deals steady, consistent damage while also making enemies weaker. On top of that, she boosts your team's overall power, which keeps the momentum going. She's like the quiet strategist of the group. Not the hero in the spotlight, but the reason everything goes according to plan. And finally, let's talk about Flora, a 4-star Ignis element trekker who punches way above her weight class. She hits multiple enemies at once, boosts the critical rate for Ignis allies, increases attack by 10%, heals your team when they crit, and stacks even more attack buffs as the battle goes on. That's a lot for a so-called mid-tier unit. Flora's the underdog story we all love. The "you didn't expect me to win, but here I am carrying the whole team" kind of character. So, the B tier might not have the broken, game-changing monsters, but these trekkers are the solid backbone of Stella Sora. They're reliable, flexible, and fun to use. The kind of characters you can build around without fear. They won't steal the show, but they'll make sure your show doesn't end early. The trekkers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Nanoha, Chixia, Mystique, Frisia, and Ridge. Alright, now we're stepping into the A tier, second best trekkers. The ones that are just shy of S tier but still pack a serious punch. These are the characters you'll love using because they make your team feel sharper, faster, and stronger without needing to be overpowered. Let's dive in. First, we have Nanoha, a Ventus element fighter who's more of a team player than a solo star. She doesn't just deal damage, she helps your whole squad move faster and hit harder. Think of her like that teammate in basketball who doesn't always score the points, but sets up every dunk and steal perfectly. Nanoha shines brightest when she's supporting her crew rather than striking out on her own. Then there's Chixia, the Ignis element powerhouse who loves hitting multiple enemies at once. She's perfect if you enjoy clearing waves of minions, because her constant damage and massive area attacks can decimate groups in seconds. If your playstyle is about domination and efficiency, Chixia will feel like an absolute dream to control. Mystique brings the Umbra element into play and is basically a Swiss army knife on the battlefield. She weakens enemies, deals damage across the map, and can adapt to whatever the fight demands. Mystique isn't flashy in one way, she's versatile in all the ways that matter. Having her on your team feels like carrying an all-purpose tool that just keeps saving the day. Next up, Frisia, an Aqua element fighter who does a little bit of everything. She hits hard early, slows down enemies, and also boosts her teammates. That combo of damage plus support makes her surprisingly valuable, especially if you're looking to maximize both offense and control in a single character. Frisia is the kind of Trekker that surprises you. You think she's just another damage dealer, but she ends up being the MVP in more battles than you'd expect. Finally, Ridge, the Terra element melee specialist who hits like a freight train. She's perfect for focusing down single targets while also boosting other Terra allies. Being the only 4-star Trekker in the top tier makes her an accessible yet incredibly strong option. If you're building a Terra team, Ridge is basically a must-have, reliable, powerful, and easy to get. She's the definition of bang for your buck. The Trekkers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Chitos, Jerry, Nazuna, and Minova. Alright, now we've arrived at the S tier. Best characters in Stella Sora, the absolute heavy hitters. These are the Trekkers you dream about pulling, the ones that can completely turn a battle in your favor. If you're building a team and want serious results, this is where your focus should be. First up is Chitos, an Aqua Element powerhouse who doesn't mess around. She deals massive damage and can hit multiple enemies at once, making her perfect for both boss fights and clearing mobs. Chitos is limited banner material for a reason. If you get her, she becomes the backbone of your team. Seriously, she's that rare character that makes you feel like the game is finally giving you a break. Then there's Gary, the Terra element fighter, who's all about versatility. She can dish out insane damage, inflict damage over time, and even defend herself when things get dicey. Gary's the kind of Trekker who adapts to the battlefield and makes every encounter feel manageable. Flexible, strong, and dependable, basically the dream teammate. Nazuna takes the support role to the next level. She heals your team over time and boosts their health, which is great on its own. But the real magic, she also makes enemies take more damage from Terra attacks. That means pairing her with Terra characters like Jiri or Ridge turns your team into a damage machine. Nazuna is the ultimate enabler for any Terra heavy squad. Finally, we have Minova, a Lux element damage dealer who's just plain solid. Before I got Chitosi, she was my go-to character. Minova hits hard, helps her team with buffs, and has surprisingly good defense for a damage dealer. She's reliable, strong, and a great choice if you want a character that can both deal damage and support the squad without missing a beat. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.